The way healthcare should work, and the way it does work, in virtually everywhere on Earth, like countries like Europe and Canada, is by people paying taxes, and in return, healthcare is free to everyone, even people who aren't citizens of those countries, such as people who are visiting from other countries. However, the way healthcare works in America is by the people paying taxes, but instead of healthcare being free for those who pay taxes, that money instead goes to the illegal state of Israel, so they can bomb Palestinian children. And because American taxpayers are the ones who bankroll Israel's military expansion in the Middle East, Israeli settlers, most of which are just dual citizens of another country, are able to spend their own tax money on universal healthcare for themselves. In order for Americans to get healthcare, in addition to having to pay for Israelis to have free healthcare, Americans must also pay hundreds of dollars every month to private insurance companies, who in theory are supposed to cover health expenses. However, in practice, they don't, and simply just use the money they extort from working people to buy off politicians to prevent systematic change from happening, as well as increase their bottom line, which is all that matters because capitalism. Michael Moore made a documentary back in 2007 exposing how absurd the American healthcare system is, where he took several 9/11 volunteer first responders to Cuba to receive treatment for the ailments that they received during 9/11 because the American government simply neglected them. Not only did they receive treatment and medication free of charge, but the Havana Fire Department invited them to the fire station to greet and thank them for their service on 9/11. Keep in mind, the same Castro government, which the occupied American government tried to overthrow in 1963, is the very same government that willingly takes care of American citizens who are neglected by their own government. It makes you wonder, like, what even was the point of the Bay of Pigs invasion? Like, were those dudes really fighting so that a bunch of private individuals can have, like, yachts and whatnot? Like, seriously? Not only is the dystopian healthcare system of America constantly being mocked by cartoon shows for adults, such as South Park, but even kid shows like SpongeBob make fun of how ridiculous and absurd the American healthcare system is.
Oh no, this is horrible.
What is it, Doctor?
This man has no insurance.
He'll never be able to afford this room.
You're right, nurse. Extract the patient to the hallway. Stat!
On December 24th, a mysterious stranger became an internet celebrity overnight when he murked the CEO of America's largest predatory insurance company, that being Brian Thompson of United Healthcare, in the middle of Manhattan. The combination of the fact that Brian Thompson was the CEO of United Healthcare and the fact that his killer has not yet been apprehended has caused there to be a flurry in the news over the event. What is so amazing is that under every video, the comments are overwhelmingly in favor of the mysterious stranger. Even on Facebook, when the United Healthcare Facebook page made a tribute to Brian Thompson, the ratio is overwhelmingly in favor of what happened on December 4th.
Democracy!
The point is that the vast majority of people are in favor of the mysterious stranger, and because of this fact, I believe that if he is ever apprehended and put on trial, he will receive what is called a jury nullification, in which the jury will not give a guilty verdict, even though they know the defendant is guilty. The last famous criminal case that involved jury nullification was the case of O.J. Simpson, where the jury knew full well that he was guilty. However, because O.J. Simpson had dark skin, and most of the jurors also had dark skin, they gave him a not guilty verdict, despite the fact that Ronald Goldman, one of the victims of the murder, was a working-class waiter and probably had more in common with the members of the jury than O.J. Simpson did. The difference between the O.J. Simpson case and the mysterious stranger case is that O.J. Simpson killed Nicole Simpson and Ronald Goldman for selfish reasons, not to make the world a better place, and that's why everyone hated O.J. Simpson after the trial. Unlike O.J. Simpson, the mysterious stranger will be treated as a celebrity, and who might even end up on Dancing with the Stars. All jokes aside, could you imagine how absurdly dystopian it would be for the mysterious stranger to be on Dancing with the Stars after his jury trial, simply due to his sheer fame from what he did? The bigger implication of getting away with murking the CEO of a large health insurance corporation is that it will essentially make murking health insurance executives legal, and as a result, insurance premiums will likely have to increase as the executives will be forced to spend money on security details as opposed to spending that money on healthcare. The simple fact is that private health insurance should not exist. America needs to adopt the same healthcare system that Britain has, in which healthcare is covered in taxes, rather than having to pay for healthcare in addition to already paying taxes. Not only would it be cheaper, but it would also ultimately lower the cost of healthcare, as the only reason healthcare is so expensive in the first place is because of people like Brian Thompson, who artificially increase the price of stuff just because they can, because of greed, which ultimately causes the price of everything else to increase as a response. This is what is known as greedflation. The simple truth is that socialism is more economic than capitalism. That's why the most socialistic party in US politics is called the Green Party. Many people in America have died unnecessarily, and many children in America have gone hungry because their parents couldn't afford food, because they were having to pay off their medical debt because of people like Brian Thompson, who extort working class people's money and use it to lobby politicians to prevent there from being single-payer healthcare, so that people like Brian Thompson can continue living in multi-million-dollar houses and in driving very expensive cars.